Okay, everyone, here's our first video on how to use this textbook. This is Modern Biology by Holt, Reinhardt, and Winston. This is going to be very heavy, so you're not going to walk back and forth from school with it. This is just going to stay at your house, and I'm going to teach you how to use this over this video. So this is your homework. The first thing you do when you get a textbook, you'll be getting plenty of textbooks in your life, is you want to make sure it's in good condition. So I had you do that when you checked it out, but definitely if you're buying a textbook that's used, you want to make sure you're getting your money's worth because these can be pretty expensive in college. The first thing I do is do a little introduction. Like I want to see what is in this place. Honestly, I always look to see when it was published. 2009. So this is about 10 years old, not too bad. I get an idea in the contents in brief what's in here. Here's foundations of biology, cell biology, genetics and biotechnology, evolution, ecology, microbes and fungi, plants, invertebrates, vertebrates, and human biology. So this is kind of everything that's going to be in here. Most science classes in biology high school kind of only get up to here. And then this other stuff, they don't usually get to. But we're going to be using this as a resource, not like a read chapter by chapter. So I'll give you an idea about what's in here. These are the contents in more depth, so you can see what's in here, and it gives you a good idea of what page they're on. So the table of contents is very helpful. You should always just give a check out of these table of contents before you get started reading a textbook. There's some labs and activities here that you can get an idea about what's in here. We'll be using some of them, but not all of them. So, textbook. This is kind of how to use your textbook. So definitely look at this, although I'm going to show you this too, but we have read for meaning. So you're going to see these things on all of them. There's going to have objectives and vocabulary. They give you an idea of what's in here. I always read these first. You're also going to be using illustrations. I like to look at the pictures in all the chapters before I read. And then also there's some quiz questions that you can use to prepare, and all of these are helpful. There's also an appendix. So if you go to the very, very end, not only is there a glossary that has terminology, but there's also going to be an index and an appendix, and then things like reference. So here's some classification reference. Here's some study skills on word parts, lab safety practices. So there's a variety of things in here that you can check out. Okay, let's just choose a random chapter. If we're learning about exercise, we're learning about the human heart. That's going to be over here, human biology. Is that skeletal muscular integument? No. Is that circulatory respiratory? Yep. So that's going to be over here, 932. So I look over here, 932. 932. All right, here we are, 932. There's a nice big picture. It looks like there's some blood cells maybe. Pretty cool. I see that this chapter has a picture of the heart, circulatory system. Don't start reading yet. Get an idea what the objectives are. The vocabulary you're going to see. Do you know any of these already, right? Look at the pictures. I see some directions, some arrows. I see some nodes. I see some sort of artery, it says. I see a picture. Another diagram. A diagram. More diagrams. So I get an idea about what's really in here. Okay. Now, when you read, you want to read for a purpose. So the purpose I'm going to read is because I want to know a little bit more about our heart. And that's really nice because here, there's the heart. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to be using sticky notes and a pen. That way you can write in your book, but it's not permanent. So let's go ahead and do a little bit of reading first. I see, but before I read, I'm going to look at the bolded words: cardiovascular, lymphatic system, atrium, ventricle, valves. Okay, so I'm going to get a good idea about what's going on in the heart. The blood, heart, and blood vessels form the cardiovascular system. The lymph nodes, and lymph vessels form the lymphatic system. Cardiovascular system and lymphatic system collectively make up the circulatory system. The circulatory system transports nutrients, hormones, gases, and gets rid of waste, helps maintain constant body temperature. That seems like a really important idea and something that I should write down. So I'm going to write that down on here so I can stick that in here and I can always refer back to it. Okay, I just wrote that just now. I take that out. I'm going to put this sticky note where it's helpful for me. So that might be somewhere like there. Sometimes if you want to like definitely refer back to something, you can stick it out here a little bit so that when you close this textbook, you can easily find that page. But sometimes it's just for you later on to keep track of that. Okay. So I don't think this is like the most important thing ever, so I'm not going to stick it there, but I am going to put it right here because that's kind of what this is saying in this section. One of the main ideas, right? And then you're going to keep going and you're going to add these sticky notes whenever you find something that's helpful to you. Remember, reading has a purpose. You don't just read and randomly think, oh, I like this fact. No, why are you reading this? The purpose of this reading right here is to understand a little bit more about the heart so we can understand a little bit about heart health and heart disease, which is, you know, one of the #1 killers in our country, actually. So we're going to read a little bit more about this heart. I want you to read about the heart, circulation, control of the heartbeat, as well as blood vessels. And then that's where we're going to start. We're not going to talk about circulation. So we're going to focus on blood vessels and the heart. And then at the end of the chapter, remember, you can give yourself a little quiz over here. Describe the structure of the heart, the path that it flows through your body, and how it's regulated, the structure of arteries and veins, and the like. Oftentimes at the end of a chapter, they will also have highlights. This is very helpful. So